Welcome everybody. It's Ted Padromo. It's Tuesdays with Ted, and I'm here with Janine Bolon, and we're going to have some fun today.
We've been having too much fun in the green room. Forgive us, everyone. We were playing with cards.
Don't put us in the same room together.
It's not a good. It's a good thing if you don't care, about a lot of laughter and everything. Anyway, hey, Tuesday with Ted. Awesome. Thanks for having me on the show.
Sure. We're
Yeah.
going to talk about ditch your debt while banking your money,
Mm, Yeah.
banking your bucks.
Yeah. Well, banking your bucks. Oh, banking money too. That's fine. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both
I
of
can't
that
wait to
works.
hear this so you can pay off your debt while you're saving money.
Yep. Believe it or not, that's required. A lot of people don't like to talk about it, but it's true. Every financial advisor, every financial planner, certified public accountant, CPA, it doesn't matter, bookkeeper, will talk to you and say, unless you are saving money and paying down your debt at the same time, you cannot pay down your debt, because what ends up happening is that horrible loop of, if you put all the money that you have into your debt and you don't have any money in the savings account, when unexpected expenses show up, and they do that every month. Every month you have something that pops up unexpectedly. You have nothing in savings to cover it, and you revert back to your debt behavior of pulling out the credit card or what have you.
Mhm.
So it's a requirement. If you're going to lower your debt, you have to lower your debt and put money into your savings account, and it defies logic. I have gone toe to toe with a couple of my clients where, I was coaching a um, married couple, and the husband would just be adamant about, we're going to take all this extra money and we're just going to pay down the debt. And I was like, you have got to split it up a little differently than that, so you have some money that is going into your savings account.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of fun.
And you are an expert on this. How many books on this topic have you written?
5. I've written 5 on this topic.
Yeah.
I've written 11 books, but 5 on money.
Yeah. So you are an expert. You've lived it. You breathe it. You help
Yeah.
clients through this.
hmm Yep. And it's a lot of fun when people learn to lighten up about money, that it is actually a lot more fluid than what we're taught. And I used to, before 2020, it was a really hard sell for me. I tell people, I'm like, look, when you start looking at money as fluid, as having a cycle, and that it goes around, it's much easier to deal with, instead of getting yourself all emotionally locked up into a very linear perspective on money. People are like, no, that doesn't happen. I don't get any money that doesn't come in through my paycheck. And I'm like, you do. You actually do. When you start looking for money that's outside, that's coming in outside of that, you'll be amazed at how many times that happens. And then 2020 hit, and our own federal government started sending us checks in the mail. And it was so pleasing, because I would have students from 15, 20 years previous go, oh my God. And they would take pictures of their checks to me and go, you're right. There is money that comes to me that's outside of my paycheck. I'm like, hey, whenever you finally learn that, I don't care when that is, but make sure you do the 60/40 principle to that money.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard of
Mhm.
80/20, but not the 60/40.
What's fun is the gentleman who came out with the 80/20 rule, and I came out with the 60/40 principle, same year, 2005. we
Wow.
both we both published at the same time, and he got a lot more traction because he had a history of financial work. So he was an advisor, and of course I cannot remember the name of the gentleman right now, but here I was, a lowly college professor at a community college, and I was trying to teach my freshman classes about financial management. And this guy comes out with the 80/20 rule. So everybody remembers that. And I'm like, hey, start somewhere. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to what I have to say, but listen to somebody who understands how money works, so that keep yourself from making life altering financial decisions when you don't have enough data with which to do that. So the joke I like to tell people is, when I walk into my financial planner's office, I know I always plan an hour and a half, because I'm going to have questions, and I refuse to leave until I understand what they're saying. And let me tell you, they really start sweating buckets because I'll walk in with my notebook and I've got a few books and I have my phone for my dictionary, and I'm like, what are you saying? What do you mean you're cost leveraging XYZ? If you get too much into the lingo, I'm like, you're losing me. I'm an analytical biochemist. I consider myself highly trained, but not highly trained in what you're talking about. So help me out here. And that's one of the things I think people get a little intimidated. And I'm like, you sit in there. It's their job
Right.
to help teach you until you understand. And if you're fuzzy in the head and you walk out not really knowing what they said, they have done you a disservice, and it's your fault for not sitting in there until you understand what they're saying. And so my financial planner is always like, Janine, really, I think we can get through this in 45 minutes. And he and I've been, working together for almost 9 years now. And I'm like, yeah, Mitch, thanks so much. But we're scheduling an hour and 15 just
Right.
because, just in case my brain doesn't absorb what you're saying. So I strongly encourage you, whether you're male, female, married, single, always book extra time. Ask them to extend it just so that you have time for questions so that you don't feel rushed. Mhm.
Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
time of year you start looking at your finances and
Mhm.
you're putting your taxes together, and then your head starts spinning, and it's like, oh my God, what does
How
this
did I
all
get
mean?
myself into this?
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. We have this inherited IRA from our parents, and we got the required minimum distribution, and my wife forgot to take it. Now we're like, got all these forms here.
Yep, those are my favorite. Or like one year, I put money in, and I had made too much money as a business owner that year, and I couldn't put money into my IRA. I didn't know that was possible. Call me ignorant. I am. I will let you know when I am ignorant. And that was a year where I was like, "What do you mean I made too much money? I have been putting money in an IRA since 1988. What are you talking about?
Right.
Too much money." And there is a ceiling. Well, I didn't know it till I hit it. And so there you are scrambling, trying to pull money out, and you're getting taxed, and like you just showed us. And then there's the additional forms.
Yes. What do we do with this one?
And I'm like, thank God I have a CPA. He saves me thousands of dollars every year just from my mistakes, from my ignorance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you also say break the bank and increase your income.
Yeah. So when people first start with the 60/40 principle, which by the way, if you go to my website, financialfirstresponse.com, there you will see multiple videos where I take time to actually describe the 60/40 principle. I did not want to spend time here on LinkedIn Live going through the 60/40 principle when you could watch my 3 minute, yes, 3 minute video on it. And you'll see where I actually have a piece of paper and a black marker where I've written it out, because that's how I used to teach all my students. Was I get up to a whiteboard and have the marker and we just walk through it. So don't look for anything super fancy, but you don't need super fancy. You just need practical. So when it comes to break the bank, after you go to financialfirstresponse.com and you look at the video that says, what is the 60/40 principle? Or you can go on YouTube, you'll find it there too. What you can do is then you go and find that coin jar, that monster pickle jar, or some people have a huge jar where they dump all their loose change, right?
I've got one here right on my desk.
Yeah, I was about ready to say you're reaching for it, aren't you? You take that jar and you divide it up according to the 60/40 principle, where you take whatever money you have. Now, I've had students that were 11 years old that have used this process. They had $5.26 in a sock drawer. And so we break out the calculators and we say, what is 60% of that? Well, that's money. 60% of the money that you have, you're going to divide up and you're going to put 60% into your checking account. Okay, that's money that you can spend. And a lot of people, anytime they have money that comes to them that is not their paycheck, that 60% is what they use to pay down the debt. Anytime they get unexpected money, 60% immediately goes to pay down whatever debt they have. So that's how you break the bank, okay, and drop your debt. Then there's that 40% that's left over. Well, then there are little 10%, 10%, 10%, 10% on that. And those 10% are long term savings, short term savings, and a spiritual organization that you may belong to for tithing, and then a charity or a philanthropic cause of your choice. Again, this is all in the video that you can find at the website. But when we talk about breaking the bank, it's like instead of stashing all that cash up, go ahead and split it out according to the 60/40 and get that cash moving. And that's what we do to kind of help break the mindset of a lot of folks who struggle when it comes to how do I manage, how do I handle this money that's coming into my life. That's one of the challenges a lot of people have that have emotional, I like to call it the Gordian knot. Their heart's all in a tight wad and tangled up because they don't know how to handle the money that comes to them and they're terrified of making a mistake. You can't make a mistake if you're doing the 60/40 principle. That is a defined structure that will allow you to take care of all the elements of your life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And there is a coin shortage now. So if we just all cash in our coins.
Right. And that's what it is. People are saving coins and stuff. And that's why we have these shortages is people are hoarding it. And so that's why I've been running around, break the bank, people, put the coins back into circulation. But this is the way you go about doing it. So you're also taking care of yourself and your family.
Yeah, we used to roll coins because the banks
Yeah.
used to let you bring them in and dump them in their machine, and now they don't.
Right. I know. And then they wonder why there's a coin shortage. Yeah.
One time my kids saved up $700 of coins in this giant, and we wrapped them all up, and we went to Disneyland.
Right. And we did that with the half dollars back in the day, back in the
Yeah,
60s when you had half dollars you could use. Yeah.
right. So I'll say,
Yeah.
what do you want out of life? It's so fun.
Yeah, this is an important takeaway. So many people really don't know what they want out of life, or they are living life by default. Like, this is what my path is in life. This is what I've been given. I have XYZ, PDQ, illness, mental health condition. Pick your limiting factor, right? Just pick your limiting factor. And people will say, well, this is my lot in life. So therefore, I shouldn't expect for life to be any better than this. To which you and I both say that's hogwash. Um, there are people out there that have shown us how that is not the case. However, if you get all tangled up, emotionally speaking, when you talk about money or you think about money, then you know the first work you should be doing is clearing the path for money to come to you. You won't change your moral compass. A lot of people say, well, money corrupts, and it corrupts absolutely. And I'm like, power can corrupt. Absolutely.
Yeah,
um, I'm like, but money itself is a tool. And I turn to those very same people and I say, I would love for you to be able to make millions because I know you would make millions so you could help millions. I mean, the whole reason I run around and take time away from my family and all this kind of stuff to teach these financial principles is because I want money to be in the hands of good people. And I said, if you're sitting in my seminar, you're listening to this LinkedIn Live with, Tuesdays with Ted, then I know you're good people. I know you're the type of person I want to have millions of dollars at your disposal because then when you would find out that the local library doesn't have enough book drops, you donate, right? That would make the community better. When you find out that your local area around the courthouse doesn't have enough handicap spots, then you donate. There's so many ways that one individual can totally alter a community just by donating a little bit of money to an item that is needed. And believe it or not, that was something that was done at a library. Was whoever it was that had designed the library did not put in book drops, and so the
wow,
library was losing huge amounts of its stock because nobody could get there during the library's open hours. So they didn't have book drops. And so it just took me and a couple of other people to donate. And then we held a readathon and we required that the library keep us anonymous. And that we were those anonymous donors who would give up to $5,000 to a readathon. So that was one of the things that I know happened. And I saw how it was myself and two others, and then all these kids doing this readathon. And we were able to get $8,000 put together over that summer. And we were able to buy 3 book drops. And then somebody donated concrete to put in the concrete bumpers around them. And the library was taken care of and they got their books back. So it was all fun.
that's awesome. Especially today with social media, this crowdfunding, people can really generate a lot of interest
Hmm.
really fast.
Right. And a lot of it is just showing people this is what I already am trying to accomplish. Right. A lot of your crowdfunding isn't, oh, woe is me. And a lot of crowdfunding, you don't see those big numbers for people who are like got the beggars bowl. Like, oh,
Yeah,
help me, I don't have enough. What you see being funded are the people who say, I have done this. I am moving toward this. Here's the prototype. It doesn't look quite as good as I want it to, but I need 8,000 more dollars before I can do XYZ
Right.
with it. Those are the people who are getting the crowdfunding. They're showing that this is my path and they're selling you on their vision, whatever that aspect is. And that's why our crowdfunding did so great, even though it was word of mouth through the library. It was, we need book drops so you can return the books. Everybody understood that. I didn't have to do any selling on that.
Right.
But and as soon as they saw the need, it's amazing how communities will come together if you just show them the need, how you plan to fix it, and how much money do you need, and people are willing to, donate to that.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah. People deep down are good people. They'll
Yeah,
help each other out.
yeah, 95% is what I have run into. 95% of people are really good. The other 5% sure do make it difficult on the others, but if they weren't there, then we'd be in utopia and not nearly as diverse and definitely not as much fun.
Right. Well, Janine, this has been great. Here's your website.
Oh, thank you. Just to let you folks know, the financialfirstresponse.com has been de-indexed by Google. We had a bot attack. So you can go ahead and say, oh, I'll just look up Janine Bolon and find her website. No, you must write it down now, financialfirstresponse.com, because it's been de-indexed. You actually have to type it in, and I'm sorry, but yeah. Sometimes you get a bot attack and Google puts you in the penalty box, and we have to wait a year before we can come out. So,
Wow. Yeah, the
yep.
bots are out right now. I'm getting a lot of strange messages. I think the hackers are
Right? And here we are. I'm just trying to help people with their debt load.
right.
Oh, well.
Right. There's always someone trying to trick the system with these bots and everything. But
Yep.
well,
So
Janine,
thank you so much for this opportunity today.
thank you so much and have a great day.